Back again in the bedroom with the cat. Hello YouTube, my name's Marie, and as you can see by the title, today we're talking about my Mr. based recommendations. Before we get started, I did want to say thank you guys for the wonderful response on my last video where I kind of just did a sit down, more of a chit chat video about how I was feeling with YouTube and my content. It was just so lovely because I felt like while I was editing that the video was mostly just like me complaining about YouTube and my content, but then you guys were so nice, like so nice about it. So thank you so much. And I know this is a K-drama related video, but other types of content are coming. This video is not just going to be a big long list. I really like categories. That's how my mind works. The categories I have are slow burns, crime, and then deep, well-written characters. And to be honest, I think all of these shows could be put simultaneously all into each other's categories because this is a my Mr. based recommendation. So all of the shows I'm picking are at that same quality and level that my Mr. is at. That being said, if you are here looking for carbon copies of my Mr. to watch, you are not going to find those recommendations here. It is my hope that you guys leave this video with a brand new show to go out, watch a trailer, binge, discover, and love. You know, I don't want to try too hard to fit every show like a puzzle piece to my Mr., if that makes any sense. It's not a like for like recommendation, it's a I think this show is at the same quality and level as my Mr., and I think if you are fans of one, you would probably like the other. The first category being slow burn. One of the things that I love about my Mr. is how much it respects its audience. It is not spoon feeding you any answers to any of your questions. The plot develops slowly, and to be fair, I actually didn't like the first episode until probably close to the end, or there's this one conversation that happens midway or near the end of the first episode. So I didn't even really like the first episode. I want to say it rewards you for your patience, but to me that implies that like you have to wait a long time for the good stuff, when in reality it's like a snowball. So it keeps picking up things that make it better and better and bigger and just, yeah, it's a snowball. So these are snowball slow burn recommendations. My first one being Because This Is My First Life. This show I feel like I recommend every chance that I get because I think it has really well-written characters, a beautiful story. It's very timely, being the discussions it's having are very relevant, both in when it aired a couple of years ago and still today. I rewatched it fairly recently and I just got even more enjoyment and more out of the show. So I think, again, it is a timeless show. So the next one is A Piece of Your Mind. And this show is only 12 episodes long. The way A Piece of Your Mind takes its time is in its romance. It's not rushing. It feels very adult, not in like an R-rated like intimate way, but in a, you know, like these are just two like very mature individuals who are not playing any games with each other, and it's just a very lovely romance to watch develop. I highly recommend it if you are a fan of the slow burn snowball genre. Next I have Misang. I just recently did a full review of Misang and I think I explained the show very well, so I'll leave that here and we will move on. Loved absolutely every moment of this show. And when it was over, I had the same sort of warm feeling of satisfaction and conclusion that I had when I watched my Mr. Now that I have finished it, I feel like I need to give the show almost like a mourning period. Like I need to allow it to rest, give it a moment to exist before I can watch anything else, because I don't think I've watched a show about the human condition that was done as well as this one. It could be tied with my Mr. And now I totally understand why people put these two shows, and my Mr. is consistently within the top 5 of my favorite K-dramas of all time. I understand now why people put them in a category of their own. 2. Designated Survivor 60 Days. Now this is a political thriller and it really does respect its audience. A lot of the character development moments or insights to characters' motives are through split-second glances or short phone call conversations or something like that. So it is expecting you to be paying attention or else you will blink and miss important things for characters and the plot. And I loved it. I love shows that respect the viewer this much. Mwah. It just, oh, I'm sorry. She's like, you're talking with your hands way too much. I'm out of here. Category 2 is crime, and I only have 2 recommendations for crime because I don't watch a lot of crime, like strictly crime shows. So I think other ones that you would probably enjoy if you really like the crime genre would be like Secret Forest. My Mister really impressed me with how well it was discussing criminal theory without like being in your face like, oh, we're discussing criminal theory. It was just, especially IU's character, her motivations and like how she got to certain places where she was committing crime and being deviant, textbook criminology. And when I first watched it, I really wanted to make a video series rewatching the whole thing and then pointing out every criminology theory that was being discussed. But now it's been way too many years since I finished my criminology diploma, so I'm way too rusty for that. But I want you guys to know that this show was amazing with how accurate it was in portraying criminal behavior. And 2 recommendations in this category. We have extracurricular. I have a full review for that as well, and in that review I do take the time to discuss a few criminology theories that are also being discussed in that show. Both shows are at the same level with how well they're actually representing real life criminal behavior. And then the second one is Flower of Evil. Now I don't necessarily know if it is as good with being realistic, because whenever you're talking about sociopaths and psychopaths, it toys a very interesting line, because in psychology there isn't actually, at least in Canada, because every place is different with their terminologies, but at least in Canada, psychopath is not a psychologically recognized term. It exists in criminology, but so psychopathy is something I can't really speak to whether or not it's super accurate because I'm not like well read on the subject, so I can't speak to it. But Flower of Evil is a fantastic show with fantastic characters, lots of twists and turns. Again, it respects its audience and you can just tell that so much love and care went into making it. Next, we have category 3, which I am calling the really well written, deep, fleshed out characters. Again, a lot of these shows could probably go into like a slow burn category as well, but I just needed to split them up somehow. First one being Search WWW. I think this one, and then also Beauty Inside and 30 but 17, which are also recommendations, are probably the furthest away from My Mister in terms of tone of its characters. But Search WWW is just so well written and has such powerful female characters that I think if you liked IU's character and her progression, the journey that she goes through is so beautifully crafted, you will also like Search WWW. So I already mentioned The Inside is being recommended because the writing is just so deep. The relationship, even though My Mister does not have a upfront romance, I do think there is love between our female and male lead. I personally just don't know if it's romantic love. I think it's companionship. I think there's just other types of love, and I don't necessarily think that the romance in My Mister is romantic love. IU's character might feel romantic love for him, but I think that's just because she is someone who has not experienced a lot of love in her life, so I think she's just confused. Yeah, the relationship between our two leads, they're equals, and I think that is what made me think of this show in regards to My Mister, because all of the characters on My Mister, although they are all flawed, they're all equals. There's no power imbalance between the characters, and that is the same with Beauty Inside. Okay, so 30 but 17. It really is so different from My Mister, but just believe me that the characters are extremely well written. Yeah, just believe me. I'm having a difficult time trying to explain why the two are working in my brain, but yeah, just believe me that if you liked My Mister, you will probably appreciate the characters and their journeys from 30 but 17. Okay, then we have the last one for this category being Hymn of Death. Trigger warning for suicide. Nothing is explicitly shown in Hymn of Death, but I had a hard time watching it, and I didn't even think suicide was my trigger. It's a mini-series. I think it's only 3 episodes long. The entire time I was watching it, I really believed where the characters were coming from. The writers did a very good job of putting you in their shoes and understanding their decisions. Even though I did not agree with their decisions, I really understood them, and I think that's a very skilled thing for a writer to do. Like, you thought we were done, but no. We have an entire honorable mentions category, and these shows are honorable mentions because I have not finished them yet, so I can't wholeheartedly recommend them to you because I haven't watched the whole thing, and you know, endings make or break a show. So what I have seen so far, I think if you liked My Mister, you would also like The Smile That Has Left Your Eyes. That is also a slow burn, but it also fits in the crime category. Then I'll Come to You When the Weather is Nice. Definitely a slow burn and well-written characters. Something in the Rain, again, it is a slow burn, well-written characters. I don't recommend that one as much because when I dropped it, I don't really have the intention of going back, whereas these other shows, I do actively want to find the time to revisit them and finish them. But I think that a lot of people who liked My Mister will find enjoyment in Something in the Rain, and that's why I'm putting it in the honorable mentions. Then I have Navillera. Well-written characters. I do think it spoon feeds a lot of its messages, but characters are really fantastic. And lastly, Mr. Sunshine. Basically everything that you could want from a period piece K-drama. You've got really great characters, wonderful set design, interesting story. I don't know why I haven't finished it yet. I hope you guys find something to then go research a little bit more, hopefully put on, hopefully love. So you guys, that is everything from me. I hope you have a good day and a good night, and